We're joined in the studio by Divyesh Anand, Professor of International Relations at the University of Westminster here in London. Sir, thank you so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. So we're going to take exit polls, or any kind of polling with a bit of a pinch of salt. But if Narendra Modi has won, what do you think swung it for him? What do you think it was in the campaign, considering, as we've been hearing, that the economy hasn't been doing as well as it could be? What do you think swung it for him?
In fact, Narendra Modi came to power in 2014 on the promise that he'll bring development. And there's no indication that that has happened in the last 5 years. In fact, and there were key assembly elections in December last year where essentially his party lost. So they were all prediction that the election would be very tight or he may even lose. What has happened since then, of course, was essentially a sort of war-like situation vis-a-vis Pakistan. So what has worked for Modi? Two things. Externally, the idea that he has sort of stood up to Pakistan. So he has given an image of him being the strong leader. And internally, again, he has given the indication, and all the image building is around him being a strong Hindu nationalist leader who will show minorities, that particularly Muslims and Christians, their place, and also sideline secularists. So essentially, he has worked on two fronts, external and internal. In both cases, the image building is around him being the only strong leader. And that has worked in the election because this election became about largely Modi and anti-Modi, and that has worked in his favor, it seems.
I mean, focusing on the sort of religious aspect and the Hindu nationalism, I mean, even during the campaign, and I believe this isn't allowed under Indian electoral law, you're not allowed to bring up religion, he did. How unprecedented was it, and how much of a difference do you think it made?
Now, of course, while in Indian election you're not supposed to bring religion, people have often brought it in the past. But what's new and what's different about Modi and BJP is they're resolutely Hindu nationalists. So it's like a far-right party. They're not right-wing, they're far-right party, right? In this case, what they did was they put up as candidates people who have got well-documented cases of being terrorists, in certain cases using terror against Muslim population, extremists. So it's not a dog whistle politics where they indicated they're Hindu nationalists. They were very proud of being Hindu nationalists. And we saw Modi again going to temples, presenting himself and walking around and saying that he is not only a good Hindu, but he's a strong Hindu, unlike all other leaders, who's going to show Pakistan its place and who's going to make sure that secularists are forever marginalized in India. Dissidents no longer dare to question him, and Muslims and Christian minorities remain minorities, and at best they should seek protection and never seek equal rights.
Very much built then around sort of the image of the strong man that would protect India, especially against Pakistan. And I suppose the whole thing, and we see it in some populist leaders around the world, very much built on the cult of personality. How sustainable is that, once you win the election and you then have to govern?
See, if we take example of Erdogan in Turkey, in fact, we should see it very similar context, where they come to power claiming that they are representing the majority against the secular elite. And that's the commonality between both of them. We see with Erdogan that despite economic underperformance over the years, he has managed to come back to power again because he's divisive, he's not a unifier. At the same time, he's got a significant section of population who believe in him because he's a strong leader. Same is the case in India and Modi. He has presented himself as a strong Hindu nationalist leader, the only hope that the Hindus have to ultimately have a Hindu nation.
Well, we're going to find out what the actual results are on Thursday. It'll be interesting to see how he's done. For the moment, Divyesh Anand, Professor of International Relations at the University of Westminster. Thank you.